It began, as all quiet horrors do, with something small, something easy to ignore. For Margaret, it was the sound of footsteps on her porch just after midnight. She lived alone on the outskirts of town, in a cottage surrounded by whispering pines and fog that rolled in so thick it seemed alive. The first night she thought the footsteps were animals, or maybe the wind shifting the loose boards. The second night, she heard them again, slow, heavy, deliberate. She tiptoed to the window, heart thudding, and saw nothing but darkness pressed against the glass. The porch light flickered once and died. She told herself she imagined it. But by the third night, the knocks began, 3 soft taps, perfectly spaced, echoing through the wood like a heartbeat. She didn't answer. The next morning, she found footprints on the porch bare, human, leading to the door but not away from it. The local sheriff told her it was probably kids playing a prank. Margaret didn't believe him. There was something wrong about those footprints, something off about the shape of the toes, as though they were stretched too long. That night, she pushed a chair under the door handle and left every light on. Midnight came. The forest outside went utterly still, not even the crickets daring to sing. Then tap, tap, tap. She held her breath. The sound came again, followed by a whisper that slid through the cracks in the door. "Let me in." The voice was wrong, too calm, too smooth, like someone mimicking human speech without quite understanding it. She backed away slowly, every instinct screaming to run. The whisper came again, softer now, coaxing. "You called for me." Her chest tightened. She hadn't spoken those words, but the thing outside seemed certain she had. She grabbed her phone to call for help, but the screen flickered and died, as though drained by the air itself. A low scrape followed, something dragging across the porch long, nails or claws tracing lazy circles. Near the door, Margaret covered her ears, trembling, as the whisper turned into a low laugh that didn't sound amused at all. Then silence. Minutes passed. Hours maybe. When dawn finally came, the sun poured through the curtains like salvation. She crept to the door, trembling, and looked down. On the wood, something had been carved into the grain during the night. 5 words. "You locked yourself in." She stumbled back, slamming the door shut again. That evening, she decided to leave for good. She packed her things, loaded the car, and promised herself she'd never come back. But when she opened the front door to step outside, she froze. There, on the porch, was her own shadow stretched far too long for the morning light, its head tilted at an unnatural angle. She turned slowly, dread pooling in her stomach, but there was nothing behind her to cast it. The shadow didn't move when she did. Instead, it reached for the door, its hand flattening against the wood, perfectly mirroring her trembling fingers. Then, as if drawn by some terrible gravity, the doorknob began to turn on its own. The air in the house grew heavy, thick with the scent of damp soil and cold metal. Margaret screamed, slamming the door shut again, locking it, bolting it, pushing furniture against it, but the knocking returned, calm and steady. Tap, tap. When the sheriff came days later, after a neighbor reported not seeing her, he found the house silent. The front door locked from the inside. The furniture was piled high against it, and on the other side of the doorframe, pressed deep into the wood, was a single black handprint. No sign of Margaret was ever found. But on certain foggy nights, if you drive past that cottage, you can see a tall, motionless shadow standing just behind the door waiting. And if you stop to listen, you might hear a soft voice whispering through the cracks, patient and familiar. "It's your turn to let me in."